Hello everybody from Plant Reviews UK. Today is the 22nd of October 2023 and in this video I am talking about a really beautiful orchid that is Cattleya Joyance, and this is the cultivar golden pin. This is a complex hybrid between different species of Cattleyas as well as Rincolelia digbiana, and in particular this hybrid was registered by Orchis Floor in 2003. And as you can see, this is a website called Orchid Roots that I find incredibly useful for finding information about orchid hybrids. The seed parents is Rincolelia Cuneia, and the pollen parent is the very similar looking in color and flower shape Rincolelia Tainan Gold. As you can see, there's a number of species ancestors in this hybrid, of which the most genetically dominant is Cattleya dowiana, which is famous for its color of golden sepals as well as the upper two petals. Sorry, my laptop is terribly dusty, but with a wonderful red lip with an amazing actually veining, and is also famous for having a wonderful fragrance. Unfortunately, I never flowered Cattleya dowianas. I have one plant I had for about 5 years, but never bloomed because it was kind of a young seedlings when I purchased it, and I had other two plants at the moment that are also not really flowering sides. One is a Dowianaria, one is a normal Dowiana, and another one is a Dowiana Veritas Rosita, but none of them bloomed yet. However, this species is really famous not only for its gorgeous color and beautiful veining of the lip, but also for its fragrance. I have to say that this orchid, maybe as a color, is even more gorgeous than the Dowiana about the sepals and petals, because Dowiana, as I know, even the golden variety, the Aurea, is not doesn't have this very rich yellow, very very intense yellow in the petals and sepals. And also what I like of this species, sorry, of this hybrid, is the red flaring that really offers beautiful contrasts against the yellow background, both on the sepals as well as on the two upper petals. Also, you can actually see the gorgeous, very dark red burgundy lip, and showing in part the beautiful veining also that characterizes the Dowiana, the Cattleya dowiana. However, unfortunately, this plant doesn't really have any intense fragrance. It does have a fragrance that is kind of sweet with, I don't know, some also notes of olive oil, but it is quite light, and this flower has been open already from a couple of weeks, because really I never been the scent. At first when it bloomed, I didn't detected this any really intense scent, but considering the ancestry of this plant that includes the majority of really intensely fragrant species, not only Dowiana but also bicolor and Digbyana, and Mossy as well and Rex are really famous for the intensity of the fragrance, the Wallisii and the Schilleriana. But however, all of them are, at least in part, fragrant, other than, as far as I know, the Cattleya cinnabarina and the Xanthina that I don't remember have any detectable fragrance, or at least if they have, must be very light. Very weirdly, this plant has almost undetectable fragrance. I really need to put my nose into the flower to smell it. It is a nice fragrance. It is floral, kind of sweet, and again with some notes of olive oil, but really nothing to talk much about. And what I can think about is that this plant looks that it is at its first blooming. So I know orchids sometimes that bloom for the first time do not really produce a very intense fragrance. I remember my Rincolellia digbyana, the first 2 times it flowered, was a very light scent. And I thought I had a kind of not sick, but maybe an individual that was not actually producing much of an intense fragrance. And in species, they are produced from seeds. Variations in fragrance as well as in flower shape and size can obviously be present among the different plants. However, this plant, this hybrid, Joyance, as far as I know, is Emery clone. So all the plants that are labeled as Joyance golden pin are actually the same genetic background. So obviously variations in fragrance or flower size or color might still happen due to different cultivation conditions, but should not be that should not be varying that wide, because the genetics again is the same. However, what I can think about this plant is at its first blooming. Rincolellia digbyana, the first 2 bloomings did not show much of a fragrance. It was very light, and I really had to stick my nose into the flower. But the 3rd blooming was like amazingly scented. It really filled the entire room, and maybe even more than a room, as far as I remember, with its very intense, kind of pungent as well, citrus, lemony fragrance. So I don't know, this one maybe in the future will be super fragrant, who knows, but at the moment what I can enjoy the most is the beauty of these flowers. In addition to the amazing color, you can see actually it is pretty, they are pretty big in size. One flower, this one is slightly bigger than this other one, and also of course I love the shape as well, this beautiful frilly lip. Look at the color and of the shape of the lip. This is definitely a plant I can recommend to any orchid grower, in particular to any Cattleya lover, and because really I think it's the contrast of colors, the intensity of the colors is absolutely impressive. It's not a small orchid. I mean, the flowers are quite big. I would say they are probably 10 or even 12, 13 centimeters across. Maybe if the plant is more established, you can get even bigger flowers. However, the plant itself is quite big. I think that the pseudobulb, as far as I can see, they stretch about, I would say 15 centimeters, and another 20 or so is taken by the leaves. So in total, yeah, imagine that a about 30-35 centimeters in total height of this plant. Maybe the bigger the plant, the obviously taller the pseudobulbs and the leaves are, but hopefully bigger flower size as well. But me, really, I love big Cattleyas, because generally the big Cattleyas are the ones that are most intensely fragrant. This is a general rule. It's not obviously 100% sure, but in general, small Cattleyas like the X Sophronitis, like for example Cattleya coccinea or X Sophronitis coccinea, or also some small Lelias like Lelia jongiana, that is now, as far as I remember, included in Cattleya. So Cattleya jongiana have beautiful flowers, but they are pretty small size, and really they are not fragrant. Instead, the most fragrant Cattleyas I know, like for example Joyance or Luedemaniana, are at least medium-sized plants. So, and they are really, really fragrant. Gascariana as well, I think, is another Cattleya that is absolutely fragrant. So, in general, in Cattleyas, big Cattleyas have big fragrance. Let's see in the future how the fragrance of this plant evolves, and I will let you know. About the cultivation of this plant, as usual, I have it in semi-hydro, and it's doing pretty well. I bought this plant from Spicy Exotic Plants a few months ago, and I really adapted pretty quickly to semi-hydro. I was already putting new roots back then, and you can see the roots are kept mostly green by the humid environment of the semi-hydro, even if at the top they are white, so they are really not very well hydrated at the top. So it is very important to keep them in a very good quality leca pebbles if you are thinking to move them to semi-hydro. However, bark works perfectly fine for Cattleyas as well as moss as well. Many people cultivate Cattleyas in moss, and they are perfectly fine. However, with moss sometimes it's difficult to understand when it can compact, because if the moss compacts, really suffocates the roots. Bark is less likely to compact, or it can compact anyway, not as fast as moss, and usually offers an easier way to grow Cattleyas. Leca is a very good way to grow Cattleyas. However, you have to be very careful that to have a very good quality leca that ensures homogeneous humidity throughout the medium. And this one, in my opinion, really is not that great. I'm glad the Cattleya anyway adapted to it, but I think I will move it to a better quality leca that I recently purchased as well. As far as I can remember, the best way, the easiest way that you can grow a Cattleya with is bark, and I don't remember to have had any problems with bark grown Cattleyas. I will remember that they will need to be repotted from bark usually once every 2 years, according obviously to the degradation of the compost. This Cattleya I've been growing in my south-facing windowsill for a while, so it really likes a lot of sun. This year anyway was not, we didn't have a very sunny summer, and I'm not too sure how it would react to full sun in a very sunny summer in the United Kingdom, but I didn't see any burning on these leaves. However, some other Cattleyas that I bought in the south-facing windowsill, even in UK in summer, get burnt. Like for example, my Cattleya Spanish, my Potinara Spanish Eyes, maybe it's called Rincoleria Cattleya now, Spanish Eyes. It burned its leaf, unfortunately. However, other Cattleyas are perfectly fine in south-facing windowsill in the UK, like my Cattleya Warshawicii or my Rincolelia digbiana, there is a species very closely related to Cattleya and is indeed one of the ancestors of this hybrid, Lius Joyance. But that's a plant really that eats sun, I think, Rincolelia digbiana. I know that people in Italy grew it in full sun, and you can imagine Italy is a lot sunnier and a lot hotter than the United Kingdom, and still Rincoleria digbiana is perfectly fine in full sun. And actually, full sun is really what triggers Rincoleria digbiana to bloom. However, Rincoleria digbiana is also other adaptations in the leaves that makes this plant withstand the sun very well. If you want to see a video about the Rincoleria digbiana, obviously I will put it on the link in the description below, and you can have a look at the video and see how beautiful is this orchid and how I cultivate it as well. About the fertilizer, I fertilize usually my orchids about once every 3 to 4 weeks in semi-hydro anyway. I have to be careful not to over fertilize it because it can actually quickly build up in the reservoir of water that I have in my pots. So usually I keep it about 2-3 centimeters of water in the reservoir, and of course you have to be very careful in fertilizing if you keep the reservoir if you keep topping up the reservoir without actually flushing water that often. And unfortunately I have to say I am a bit negligent in this. I don't flush it very often, but it seems that my Cattleyas still enjoy these cultivation conditions. Of course, if you want to ask me any other information, please let me know. Again, I'm cultivating this in normal windowsill, in house, indoors conditions, as you want to call them. But anyway, if you want to ask any other information about how I grow this plant, please let me know in the comments below, and I will be more than happy to reply as soon as possible. As usual, I hope that you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.